welcome back to my channel. I am back with a different kind of video this week. I am going to be doing my normal video where I kind of talk about the teen mom news going on. We got some drama with Janelle and her court case. We got some drama with Kale having 3 babies and hiding it from everybody, but like soft launching it and then hard launching it. It was really weird. So I'm going to do my video about that. But right now I'm actually going to do my makeup for that video. I've never done makeup on camera before, so we're going to see how this works. Actually, I have done my makeup on camera before, I think on my old channel, because I feel like everyone around my age group kind of went through that phase where like, oh, I want to be a makeup artist on YouTube, not realizing how totally oversaturated that is. But another category on YouTube that I always love to watch, so I feel like my audience would love to watch too, is storytime YouTubers. They're not as popular as they used to be, but on like Tana Mojo, Simply Nessa, those kind of videos, it's kind of like reality TV to me, watching YouTube story times. That is like my #1 favorite content to watch on YouTube. So I figured I would do a little story time of my own. My life is not as interesting as some of these other YouTubers, but I do have a couple weird stories in me. So I figured, why not tell a story while doing my makeup, because I love watching those kind of videos, so maybe you guys will too, or maybe not, I don't know. So I apologize if you hear my chair kind of creaking during the video. I still haven't bought a new desk chair because I'm lazy as fuck. But let's go ahead and get started. This is going to be the story time of my worst ever Hinge date. I started the dating app thing a couple years ago, and it's really been nothing but horrible experiences, to be honest, and then just a lot of really boring people, but some of them are just like bad, like psycho. Like I have dealt with some genuine fucking psychos on this app, like to the point where I had to report them and get them deleted off the app. And over the years of using it, I've definitely learned some new techniques. This was kind of a while ago, back when I used to give out my real number, which I would never do nowadays. Nowadays I got a Google Voice number, and if they want my number, they could get that one. That way I could easily block them and they can't like message me from another phone or something. But back then I would give out my real number. So I matched with this guy named Daniel, and I have a pretty small channel, so I doubt he's gonna find me. And this guy Daniel, you know, he went to my school, so I'm like, okay, cool. He was pretty close by. His pictures were like, you know, out doing stuff. No fish pic, no dog pic. I'm like, cool, that's all I want. Decent looking guy, in shape, pretty much. So we match, and he asked for my number. Again, this is back when I actually used to give out my real number. I would never do that nowadays. So I give him my number, and you know, we're sending gifts, we're sending memes, it's a decent time, he's a decent conversationalist, but there's some red flags. So he, you know, we'll text, normal, whatever, and then randomly at 3 a.m. on like a Thursday, he calls me. Now, I am a true 2023 bitch. I'm with the new generation that does not like to answer the phone. I didn't even like talking on the phone when I was younger, when people actually called you on the phone a lot. I don't like talking on the phone. Don't call me, especially out of the blue like that. I don't want to talk to you. Like, not until I meet you in person, until I kind of get a feel for the conversation, you know? Because I don't know if you're going to be a really talkative dude that's going to keep me on the phone for like an hour blabbing. I don't want that. Just text me, and then after we meet in person and I feel the vibe, then we can talk on the phone. But don't just call me out of the blue. Is that just a me thing? Maybe that's just a me thing. So he calls me at 3 a.m. and at first I give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, he probably butt dialed me. No, the next morning he's like, I called you, why didn't you answer? And I said, because it was fucking 3 a.m. Now, given I was awake, like watching YouTube or whatever, but I'm not about to answer that call. Are you crazy? And he's like, oh, sorry, I was a little tipsy or something. And again, this is a Thursday night. Like, are you a fucking alcoholic or something? You know, nowadays, once I see a red flag like that, I'll honestly just block them because I have no interest in entertaining alcoholics. But at that time, I was a little bit nicer, and I wasn't really, you know, I didn't really understand the game yet, and honestly was really bored. And he wanted to take me to a really big casino. And I'm like, that's a pretty cool first date. Like, most of these dudes want to do free stuff because they think that girls are trying to scam them or whatever, and they want to go to, like, the park or Starbucks or somewhere boring like that. But this dude want to take me to a casino? Sure, that sounds fun. Why not? I want to go to the casino. So I ignore the red flag. That one time he called me was not the only time. He continued calling me. I'm just grabbing my makeup brushes. So he continues calling me at like inopportune hours, and I never answer. And I'm like, can you stop? And then he texts me, and I have some notes up here on my computer, so if you see me looking there, that's what I'm reading, because I saved all of these texts and all of these Hinge conversations. He says, Why don't you ever answer my calls, you weirdo? I'm about to shower and I'll call you. You better answer. Who the fuck do you think you are? At this point, it's the day of our date. I already had like my makeup done. I wanted to go to the casino and make some money, bitch. Even though this is like a bunch of red flags, I'm like, whatever. And I answered the phone this time, even though he was rude as fuck to me over text. I answer the phone and he actually sounds normal. You know, I can kind of tell whether someone's attractive over the phone. So I'm like, okay, his voice is not weird or anything. He doesn't sound like Shrek or something. Like, you know, he sounds all right. He was more normal on the phone than he was over text, so I'm like, okay. Now, this casino is about 45 minutes from my house, so I assumed he's gonna be a gentleman and like, you know, ask to pick me up, right? And I never give them my exact address. I always have them meet me at like the community pool or something. But I figure he's gonna pick me up and he texts me, no, I'm on my way there. Oh, so you're not gonna, oh, okay. Red flag number 2 that I ignored. So I ignore the red flag. I'm like, whatever. I already got dressed and everything. I want to go to the casino at this point more than I want to see him. So I drive 45 full minutes on the highway to this casino by my damn self. Yeah. I have eyelash extensions right now, so I get the feeling that doing my eye makeup's going to be really annoying, and I'm going to have to wash them, which is irritating. But, what's your guys' experience with that? Do you guys wash your eyelash extensions after you wear eyeshadow? Because I feel like the powder's gonna get all up in them. And they're gonna be all dirty and mixed with like eye boogers, but we'll see. And again, I am not an artist. It smells like chocolate. So, this is not gonna be no artistry right here. I'm just doing my makeup for my upcoming Teen Mom video. So I drive all the way over there by myself. I believe it was like a Friday night or a Saturday night. Like, you know, it's a busy night that people go out. And I get to the parking garage of this very large and very famous Hard Rock casino. And there are no spots. There are 8 levels to this garage, and there is not a single parking spot. Not one. And I go around and around and around like a carousel in this big-ass parking garage, almost running into these trash drivers, a bunch of old people, and like, I call him and I'm like, dude, there's no parking. And it's, you know, nighttime at this point. I didn't even know there was another garage. My signal is barely working because I'm in a parking garage. I didn't know what to do, really. I had never been to this casino. I call him. He is already wasted. I could tell on the phone, and I'm like, oh, God. Like, at this point, I wanted to just turn around and go home, but, like, I had already driven 45 minutes to get here. And at this point, I'm like, I deserve to win some money or something in this casino, because I'm bad at all the casino games. I'm like, maybe he'll, like, I don't know, win me something. I end up driving around and around this garage like a carousel for 45 minutes, which is as long as it took me to drive there, and he is not being helpful at all. At one point, he says, oh, let me go meet you up there in the garage and we'll drive around and look together for a spot. And then he doesn't come, and I'm like, dude, where are you? And he's like, oh, the elevator was broken. When I eventually found a spot and got out, you know, someone was leaving and I grabbed the spot, and then someone honked at me like really loud, like, were you saving that spot, dude? Too bad, because I took it. Once I actually like got out, the elevator was working. So I'm like, and there was multiple elevators, so even if one was broken, the rest of them would have been working. So I'm like, were you in the right garage? Because I told you the name of the garage I was in, and you said that the elevator was broken and it was not. So either you were lying, or you went to the wrong garage, and that's stupid because I told you the name of the garage, right? So this is already, you know, not going very well. Didn't apologize to me. No, I'm sorry you had to go through that. He was calling me like, where are you? What's taking you so long? So I meet him at this like water fountain type thing in the middle of the casino, and I quickly realize that I have been kitten fished. Now, do you know what kitten fished is? It's a little different from catfishing. So, like, it was the guy. It was, like, you know, the one from the pictures. But unbeknownst to me, those pictures were from 2016, or back whenever he was in shape, because he was no longer in shape. He was about a good 40 to 50 pounds heavier than his photos. Yeah, I mean, like, significantly higher in weight than his photos. His photos were very old, 5+ years at least. He looked way younger in the pictures. He looked way better in the pictures. Now he looked like a grubby old man. And he's only, you know, he's the same age as me, but he looked like an old man, and I'm only 28, so that's not good. He was also short, so that's great. Now, usually I'm not a big, like, height person. I don't care if a guy doesn't have to be 6'1", but when your personality is bad and you lied about your weight and you kitten fished me, it's not looking good, dude. I should have just turned around there, but sunk cost fallacy. I'm like, I drove 45 minutes, and then I drove around the parking garage for 45 minutes. Now, this dude was pretty trash drunk, and I had just gotten there. Already trashed drunk. And immediately, this dude is like, I don't want to say like touchy-feely with me, but he would like elbow me. He'd be like, hey, let's go over there, and like elbow me. And like just be like rough with me, like grab my shoulders, be like, oh no, move over there. And I'm like, who do you think you are? He would like poke my arm, like pat my shoulder, like elbow me. And it's like, why are you being so rough? So already I hate him. He's drunk. He's vaping indoors, which I guess in casinos you do that, but not by me. I don't want to smell your fucking orange smoothie smoke shit. So he takes me to the bar and he's like, first drinks on me. I specifically remember him saying that. And I remember thinking to myself, like, oh, you think I'm going to buy the other drinks? You're buying everything in this trip. You made me drive here by myself, go around that parking garage by myself. I'm not buying anything, sweetie. I'm not contributing to anything. You serve me now. So he says, what drink do you want? I tell him a margarita. He gets me a shot instead because he decided that that would be better, I guess. And I didn't want to take it because I'm like, that's not what I asked for. So he ends up getting me the margarita and the shot and then gets mad that I won't take the shot. And I said, that's not what I asked for. I'm not taking it. And he's like, oh, okay. And of course he takes it as if he needed it. This eyeliner is going to be really hard to do with these eyelashes. I'm already bad at this. And this casino was extremely packed. I mean, like, I had never seen anything like it. I've never been to, like, a huge casino like that. Usually, I've been to a casino, but it's mostly, like, old people when I went. And I don't know if it was just the day I went or whatever. But this time, it was, like, old men and their sugar babies. Like, it was disgusting. There was a line for everything. I think I have to stop talking while I do this. Let's see if I can do this. Line for everything. I'm talking line for the bar, line for the bathroom, line for the water fountain, line for food, big, long lines for everything. So this place is just like, I was not expecting this at all. I mean, I expected it to, you know, be a decent amount of people for like a Saturday night or whatever it was, but it was just like uncomfortable. It was hot in there, and this Daniel guy had like this huge ass fucking jacket on, and he was just like sweating in it, and he was so repulsive. Like, I was never been so disgusted by somebody in my life. I think that's the best we're gonna do. I mean, I'm already not good at eyeliner, and I kind of have like hooded eyes, or like semi-hooded eyes a little bit. So that plus the eyelashes, it's just really hard. So I'm annoyed. I am considering saying like, hey, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and just dipping, but I didn't for some reason. Again, the sunk cost fallacy. And also I was really hungry at this point, thirsty. So I thought maybe we'll like eat something, you know? He's belligerently drunk. There's some kind of like hockey game going on. I don't know anything about sports, but he was like yelling about this game, you know, screaming, yelling to passerby with the same, you know, team affiliation as him, like wearing a jersey or whatever, yelling to them like, hey, how about that game, man? And I'm like, dude, how about you shut the fuck up, man? So we go to the blackjack tables. I don't know how to play any of these games. I usually just go to the slots, which I'm also not good at. He drunkenly attempts to teach me how to play. You know, he doesn't know how to explain it right because he's fucking belligerently drunk. So I just sit there like, yeah, that's cool. Oh yeah, just like, but surprisingly, I mean, he was like winning money, and I'm like, I don't understand how he's comprehending anything at this point, but he's winning money, so let him go, I guess, because we're sharing that money, even though I didn't contribute anything to it. After we won about like $100, we go to get some food. There was a slow, long line for this, and in front of us was a blackout drunk man who I think was not just on alcohol. I think he was on like some kind of flakka, or what's that thing that the guy ate the guy's face off? Bath salts. He was on something weird, because this dude was like out of it. So he's blabbing about total nonsense in this line, spitting everywhere while he's talking, like spit collecting under his lip, I remember, as he like babbled about nothing. And I'm like, can we go to another line? I said that to Daniel, and instead of, you know, listening to me or even just ignoring the man, Daniel decides to engage with the crazy old man, and he decides to drag me into the conversation. We had been talking about, like, me wanting to go to law school or something, and he puts his arm around me and says to the old guy, this is my girl right here, and she's a lawyer. because the old guy was talking about his legal issues, and this guy just goes off on another one of his schizophrenic, whatever, tangents, like spit flying everywhere. He's like, why this girl paying for this guy? You're the lawyer? Why are you paying for it? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, this dude has paid for everything since I got here, and he better, because this is a terrible date. And this casino is just a mess. Like, I'm surprised they haven't been sued. There's water all over the floor. Old pizza boxes on the floor. Like, I watched a woman slip and fall on her ass because there was water on the floor. And I'm like, dude, can I slip and fall so I can sue this place? So once we finally get our food after, again, 45 minutes, and sit down, he kind of apologizes for being so drunk. He's like, oh, well, you're not as lit as I am, but I'm sorry if I'm being annoying. And I'm like, yeah, you kind of are. But I'm glad to finally sit down, one, because I'm starving, and two, because I'm like, let me try to find, like, one positive thing about this guy. Like, actually sit and talk to him and not, like, walk around a casino trying to win money. I'm like, as I think about it, like, that's a really weird place to choose a first date. A casino, you can't really, like, sit and talk to someone. It's almost like like those old guys with their sugar babies. It's like a sugar baby date. And this guy was my age and, had, like, a regular job. So I don't know why he chose to bring me to the casino. Bring me? Oh wait, he didn't bring me. I drove my ass there myself. So we sit down. I get like chicken and fries, I think, and he gets a burger. But I guess he didn't want the burger because he starts eating my food. And it's okay if you take like 1 or 2 fries, like that's normal. But he is like eating my tenders, my chicken tenders. He's taking handfuls of my fries. And I'm like, did you want the chicken tenders and fries? Do you want to go get another one for yourself and, like, stop eating mine? He's like, oh, no, I'm fine. And he's like, oh, don't you want some of my hamburger? And I'm like, no, like, I see how drunk you are, and you're just, like, biting into that burger. Like, it's not like the fries where they're individual, right? This is this big, juicy burger that you're putting your alcoholic mouth onto and like eating, and you want me to like eat your greasy burger? No thank you. And he like made fun of me. He's like, oh, what, you don't want red meat? You don't like red meat? Are you a vegan or something? And like, I have chicken tenders in front of me. And then he says, your fries are tasteless, they're not salty enough. So he takes little packets of salt, starts ripping up a bunch of them, and pours illegal amounts of salt all over my food, not just the fries, but also the chicken. Even though I said, no, the fries taste fine to me, he didn't care, even though it was my food. Whew. I just wanted to leave so bad at this point, but he did at least pay for the food, because I definitely wasn't about to pay for anything on this date. But we're talking, I don't know, about like tequila, I think it was, and I had mentioned, he said something about like brown tequila, and I said, oh, I thought tequila was clear. I'm not an alcoholic. I don't know a lot about alcohol. I don't drink that much. And I remember he said, no, you idiot, it can be brown or clear. I'm like, idiot? Like, if we're besties, maybe you could talk to me like that, but we are not friends. I don't like you. Do not fucking call me an idiot, you drunk, belligerent, fat-ass fucking loser. So after he calls me an idiot, he's like, are you having fun? You don't look like you're having fun. You're just not as drunk as me. You need to get on my level. And I'm like, well, I don't plan on drinking that much tonight. This totally seems like the type of guy that would roofie you, so I'm not going to drink in front of him. And there was a line for every single bar, like I said. So at some point while we're eating there, or more, accurately while he's eating my food, I do pull out my phone. Now, typically, I don't pull out my phone on first dates. I try to be nice like that, but obviously this was not a normal first date and he was not respecting me. So I pull out my phone, and I seriously didn't even have my phone out for not 5 seconds. And he says, who are you texting? Oh my god, are you texting your friends? Like, oh my god, he's so weird. Is that what you're texting your friends? And I'm just like, no, dude, whatever. And it's funny because he took his phone out multiple times throughout this date, so why he's criticizing me, I don't know. So I put it away, and, a little later throughout the day, I do pull it out again. He grabs the phone out of my hands, tries to scroll through my notifications, and then shoved the phone in my face to try to get Face ID to unlock it. It didn't work, but, why did I stay on this date? It really is a mystery to me. I felt like, do you guys remember the MTV show Disaster Date, where there would be like an actor and like the best friend of the person on the date would like say, hey, go on this blind date with this friend of mine, but it's really an actor. And then they would tell the actor like all the most hated qualities that the person, you know, sees in a guy, like what they don't want to see on a date, and then the actor will do all that, and then like the longer you last on the date, the more money the person gets. Do you guys remember these corny MTV shows that used to be around? I used to love them. Either way, I literally thought I was on that for a little bit. Like I was looking around for hidden cameras, but oh, there were none. This is a real person. So we're still eating, or more accurately, he's still eating, and he pulls out his phone. I guess he can do that. He's allowed to do that. And he shows me old pictures of himself, like when he actually used to look semi-decent. And he's like, bro, look how in shape I was. I was doing good for myself. And I'm like, yeah, you are not any longer. And then he shows me a picture of his medical marijuana card, as if this is gonna like make me like him. Like, congratulations, dude, you smoke weed. Like, we're not 15 years old in high school. It's not edgy, it's not cool, it's not funny. This does not make me think higher of you. In fact, I don't like weed, I hate weed, I don't smoke, so like, I actually think less of you now. Like, you just look stupider to me now. So we finally finish eating, and this dude burps so loud, and I can like feel it, like smell it across the table. And I'm just looking at him like, are you serious right now? And he kind of reads my face and he's like, what, did that bother you? And I said, don't do that again. So we get up from our romantic dinner and he is like stumbling at this point. And I'm like, dude, are you gonna throw up? Like, you need to tell me now so I can get out of the splash zone. And he's like, oh, I might. And then he gets in my face and pretends to throw up. So he like gets all close to me and he's like, blah, blah, I might throw up. Blah, are you scared of me throwing up on you? Blah, like doing this like so close to my face that I'm about to throw up for real. And I will definitely make sure he is in the splash zone. And the best part was when he laughed at his own joke like he was the funniest person in the room. Like, blah. At this point, I said, I'm gonna leave within the half hour. And he's like, wait, let's play some games. So we go to play blackjack. Now by we, I mean that I was like sitting on a chair, you know, kind of watching him as he drunkenly explained it to me. And I felt so bad for, I guess it's like the dealer, you call like the woman, you know, dealing the cards. He was like talking so horribly to this poor woman and just behaving so drunkenly, and it was so embarrassing. I was embarrassed to be with him. I was scooting my chair away. Believe it or not though, he wins like $400 playing blackjack. And I said, you need to split that with me. And I didn't give a reason or anything because I definitely didn't help him in the game at all. And it wasn't any of my money that I put into it. But he said, yeah, sure. And he gives me $200 of the $400. And he says, let's go put this towards the slots. And I said, no, I think we're leaving now. I'm tired. I want to go home. And he's like, wait, I'll get you a drink. And I said, no, I'm not drinking. You said you weren't gonna like put peer pressure on me. So why are you putting pressure on me? And he says, I lied. Full pressure. You need to have a drink right now. I said, no, we're not doing that. We're going home. And he's like, fine, whatever. So we go back to the parking garage. He is so drunk, he doesn't remember what garage he's in. Come to find out, there were multiple garages, which I wish he would have told me when I was driving around the garage for 45 minutes trying to find a spot. Either way, we finally find his garage based on the geodata from a picture on his phone. And I kind of walk him back to it. And he says, come back to my place. I said, boy, no. And he said, no, come. I have Connect 4. This dude was dead serious. He thought he could lure me over with Connect 4, bitch. Connect 4. I said, no, thank you. I left him in his car. This dude was way too drunk to drive. And I was like, you know, trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, surely he'll sit there and like, you know, wait it off for a little bit before he drives because he's way too drunk to be driving. But I heard him start that engine before I started walking away, so probably should have called like 911, reported him for drunk driving, but sadly I did not. And I think he asked for a kiss too, but I was like, no, and I gave him like one of those like buddy side hugs, and you know, absolutely not. And yeah, that was the worst date of my life. But you know what? A bitch got $200 out of it, so it really is like an episode of like MTV's Disaster Date. Like, I did get my money out of it. I will say that, right? $200, and I really did not contribute to that at all, but my suffering was well worth over $200. I should have taken the full $400, to be honest. So I drive home, And the next day he texts me and he says, sorry, I was kind of acting like an idiot, but I hope you had a good time. And I should have gone off on him, but honestly, I'm scared of men, because there was one time where I did go off on someone and they sent me some really scary shit afterwards. So I just said something like, oh yeah, it was fun or whatever, which I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't be lying, but he said, what, are you saying that I did act like an idiot while I was there? And then he sent me a GIF of like a person's heart being broken in half, and I'm like, this dude is the most pathetic motherfucker I have ever met in my life. I blocked him and I never spoke to him again. I looked him up after the fact, like with his last name, once I found it out and everything, and it's always important to ask someone's last name before the first date so you can kind of do a background check, because once I did, I looked up on my county, the clerk website for the court, and he had driving before you turn, or drinking and driving before you turn 21, underage drinking. And all this stuff that points to, you know, this dude is an alcoholic. I also found out that his dad is like a prominent like doctor in the area. So I'm like, spoiled rich kid maybe. Like, who raised this kid to think that like it's okay to talk to people like that? Absolutely wild, dude. Like burping like a caveman, acting like we're besties. And he kept calling me by like my nickname too, like we were best friends already. Homie, we are not friends. Actually, we're not homies either. Kitten fishing me with some 2016 ass pictures? Just truly like the audacity of these men. And then asking if I want to come home with him after all that? Absolutely wild. So that is the story time of my worst date ever. God or the universe or whatever gave me $200 out of it, but I still think it wasn't worth it. Ladies, do not give out your real number. We give out Google Voice numbers around here. If you even want to give them a number at all, you don't have to. If they're calling you drunk on a weekday night before the first date, don't go on it. If they don't want to drive you and it's 45 minutes away, don't go on it. If he lies about an elevator being broken in the parking garage, turn around and drive home. And that is the moral of this story. I'm gonna go ahead and film my actual Teen Mom video now, so you will see me in the same hair and makeup and shirt, unless I spilled powder all over it. I don't think I did. Let me know if you guys like story times. I really like doing them, and I really like listening to them. I do have a couple other date horror stories and stuff like that if you want to hear it, so let me know down below if you're interested, and make sure to leave a comment down below, watch my other videos, and subscribe for Teen Mom Recaps every week.